What if the key to knowing if a guy truly likes you is right in front of you, but you can't see it? Nicole, burned by past dates and drawn to a captivating coffee shop barista, is desperate to decode his every glance, touch, and word. When friendly advice from his best friend blurs the lines between friendship and romance, she's left more tangled in her feelings than ever. But a surprising twist changes everything when she thinks she's solved the mystery. Can Nicole find the courage to confront her feelings, or will she stay lost in the confusion? This is Nicole's story. Nicole swirled her coffee, staring at the foam art slowly melting into her drink. She'd been coming to this coffee shop for months, always sitting at the same corner table, ordering her usual vanilla latte. Her mind, though, wasn't on the coffee. It was on the barista. He wasn't just good-looking with his messy dark hair and soft brown eyes. His easy charm had her coming back. His kindness seemed genuine, as if he cared about the people he served. For Nicole, he felt like more than just a barista. Somewhere along the way, her harmless crush had morphed into something far more consuming. Her last date had been a disaster, a guy on the rebound. She thought she'd read the situation, but she'd been wrong. Now, with the barista, she couldn't trust her instincts. Was he just being friendly, or was there something in how his smile lingered when he handed her coffee? This internal struggle was consuming her, leaving her more tangled in her feelings than ever. Nicole sighed, sipping her latte. Her friends would tell her to ask him out, but that felt impossible. What if she misread him again? As if sensing her gaze, he looked over and gave her a friendly nod. Her stomach flipped, but she forced a smile, trying to act normal. This was her routine: sit, sip, watch. But lately, it felt like a trap. She'd convinced herself that if she waited long enough, she'd see if he liked her. Yet the longer she waited, the more confused she became. One thing was clear: she couldn't stay like this forever. Nicole took a tentative sip of her vanilla latte, feeling a mix of hope and anxiety. She couldn't shake her fixation on the barista, whose warm gaze and casual charm had her heart racing. Their last interaction replayed in her mind. A simple "Hey Nicole, how's your day?" had felt loaded with something deeper. Or was she projecting? Her last relationship had shattered her confidence. The guy seemed perfect at first, attentive and charming, only to reveal he was still hung up on his ex. The experience left her doubting her instincts, and now she felt like she was reading signals in a foreign language. People laughed and chatted around her, but Nicole felt isolated. She could hear her friends say, "Just ask him out." But what if she misinterpreted things again? The fear of getting hurt, or worse, embarrassing herself, kept her rooted to her chair. This fear of misjudgment was paralyzing, making her question every move she made. New customers came in, filling the coffee shop with noise, yet amplifying her loneliness. She longed for clarity, a way to know if her connection with the barista was real or just a fantasy she was clinging to. This desire for certainty was becoming overwhelming, driving her to seek answers. A thrill ran through her at the idea that he might be interested, but it was quickly overshadowed by fear. Could she risk putting herself out there? More than anything, she wanted to reclaim her confidence, to escape the cycle of overanalyzing every look and word. Taking a deep breath, Nicole knew she couldn't keep waiting. She needed to find out if there was something real between them. It was time to leap, even if she didn't know how to do it without risking a fall. The following day, Nicole returned to the coffee shop, her heart pounding with anticipation. Today was the day she decided to take action. No more second guessing. She was determined to find out if the barista felt anything for her. Her plan? Befriend his best friend, Jake, who often hung around. Nicole had seen him enough to know he was easygoing, and she hoped he might offer some insight. At the counter, the barista flashed her a warm smile. The usual? She managed a nod, nerves tangled in her stomach. After placing her order, she spotted Jake by the window. Now or never, she thought, and walked over. "Hey, Jake," she greeted casually. "Mind if I join?" "Not at all," he said, grinning. "What's up?" She sat, wiping her sweaty palms on her jeans. "I've noticed you're close with the barista. I was wondering, do you think he's seeing anyone?" Jake's eyes sparkled with amusement. Is this for you? Her cheeks warmed. Maybe. I'm just trying to figure out if he might like me back. Jake took a slow sip of his coffee. Well, he doesn't just flirt with anyone. If he's been extra friendly, there's probably something there. Nicole's heart skipped. Could it really be that simple? But, Jake added with a smirk, you'll have to make the first move. He's a bit clueless sometimes. The thought both thrilled and terrified her. I don't know if I can. Jake gave her an encouraging smile. Just be yourself. You got this. As she sat there, a spark of determination ignited within her. Maybe today was the day she'd finally find clarity. It was time to stop waiting and take a chance. She was ready to face her fears and find out the truth. Every day, Nicole was back at the coffee shop, tangled in uncertainty over the barista. His smile, the way he leaned in, and their little conversations left her heart racing and her mind spinning. Was he interested, or was she imagining it? Hey, Nicole, how's your day? He'd ask with that captivating smile. She'd smile back, nerves buzzing as they exchanged small talk. Once, their fingers brushed when he handed her a cup, sparking electricity long after she'd left. Was it a sign? Or just friendly contact? One afternoon, they bonded over their love for books. He'd asked about her weekend plans, and it felt like they were in their own little world for a moment. But later, doubt crept in. Was he just being polite? Then one morning, she saw him laughing with another girl. Her wavy hair and easy charm were making Nicole's stomach twist. Was he interested in this girl? Every little moment felt like a test, and Nicole was exhausted from overanalyzing everything. Sitting in the coffee shop, she realized she couldn't keep living in this spiral of second-guessing and fear. Her longing for clarity was overwhelming, but so was her fear of rejection. She felt trapped in a cycle of her own making. I can't keep living like this, she whispered, feeling a surge of determination. She knew it was time to confront her feelings, to find out if he felt the same, and finally break free from her endless doubts. One afternoon, Nicole sat in her usual spot at the coffee shop, heart racing. She decided, no more second-guessing, no more doubts. It was time to know the truth. She glanced at the barista, Ethan, who was busy at the counter, laughing with customers. Doubts crept in, but she pushed them aside, recalling his friend Jake's words. He's not the type to flirt with just anyone. Maybe Ethan did like her. Taking a steadying breath, she stood, drink in hand, and approached the counter. Hey, Ethan, she called, her voice shaky. He looked up, smiling. Hey, Nicole, what can I get you? Actually, I wanted to talk. Her heart pounded as she gathered her courage. I've enjoyed our conversations and we have a good connection. But I've been wondering, do you like me? Ethan's expression softened, and after a beat, he replied, I do. I wasn't sure if you felt the same way. Relief flooded her. Really? I thought I was imagining it. He chuckled. No, I've wanted to ask you out, but I didn't know how you felt. They shared a nervous laugh, realizing they'd both overthought everything. At that moment, Nicole's doubts melted away, replaced by excitement. She had taken the leap, and it had paid off. As they stood there smiling at each other, Nicole felt a lightness she hadn't felt in weeks. She'd finally embraced the possibility and couldn't wait to see where it would lead. Nicole's heart raced as she stood across from Ethan, his warm smile sending a thrill through her, mixed with a flicker of fear. What if she was setting herself up for disappointment? Pushing her nerves aside, she took a leap. So would you want to hang out sometime? She asked, her voice barely steady. Ethan's smile widened. I'd really like that. How about dinner this weekend? Her stomach flipped as she agreed, excitement mingling with a familiar anxiety. She couldn't help but worry. What if this was all just a mistake? What if her hopes were misplaced again? But Ethan's genuine enthusiasm softened her doubts. Saturday at 7, he suggested, his eyes bright. Perfect, she replied, managing a smile. As she left, anticipation and uncertainty overwhelmed her. By Saturday, she found herself frantically trying on outfits, battling insecurities as the evening approached. Nothing seemed right, and doubts crept in. Would Ethan still see her the same way? Finally, she settled on a simple black dress, her heart pounding as she looked in the mirror. You can do this, she whispered, trying to summon her courage. She took a deep breath as she stepped out into the evening air. She'd promised herself to face this with an open heart, free from the fears of the past. Tonight, she would embrace the possibilities, whatever they might be. Nicole walked into the cozy, candlelit restaurant, her heart pounding with excitement and nerves. Spotting Ethan at a corner table, his genuine smile washed her anxieties away. "Hey, you made it," he greeted, his gaze warm and focused solely on her. "Wouldn't miss it," she replied, smiling as she sat down. Conversation flowed easily, from favorite books to funny quirks, and for the first time, she felt relaxed, free from the self-doubt that had plagued her. As they talked, Ethan opened up, sharing stories about his family, dreams, and fears. "I've always struggled with being vulnerable," he admitted. "Putting yourself out there is hard." She nodded, feeling a pang of empathy. "I know what you mean. Trusting again after a painful relationship, it's scary." "True," he replied, leaning in, "but sometimes taking the leap is worth it." Their connection deepened, and she felt a warmth growing. When dessert arrived, a chocolate lava cake to share, Ethan grinned, offering her a bite. Laughing, Nicole savored it, her worries melting with the rich taste. "I'm really glad we did this," he said, watching her with sincerity. "I like you, Nicole. I've liked you for a while." Her heart soared. "I like you too," she whispered, finally free from overthinking. As they continued talking and laughing, Nicole felt a thrilling clarity. Here was a new beginning, a step into the light toward hope and connection. All right, ladies, let's break it down. Nicole's journey teaches us some valuable lessons about figuring out if a guy likes you. The best way to know is to look for those clear signs and, when in doubt, ask him directly. First, pay attention to his behavior. Is he making an effort to spend time with you? Does he remember the little things you've shared? A guy who likes you will show genuine interest in your life and what makes you tick. Look for those signs of engagement, like him asking questions and being attentive. But let's be honest, sometimes even those signs can be confusing. You might be overanalyzing every text and every conversation, just like Nicole did with her barista crush. That's where communication comes in. If you're uncertain about his feelings, please bring it up. It doesn't have to be a big, dramatic moment. A casual, straightforward conversation can clear the air and let you know where he stands. And remember, vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength. By expressing your feelings, you open the door for him to do the same. This can lead to a deeper connection, which is exactly what we all want. So the takeaway here, look for signs of interest, but don't hesitate to ask him if you're unsure. You deserve clarity and honesty in your love life. By taking that leap, you're not just protecting your heart, but also paving the way for meaningful connections. Trust yourself, stay open, and enjoy figuring it all out.